UFC Fight Night, Garry versus Prates. Quick picks, quick predictions. You guys already know. The only difference this time is that I got a big ass face. Just got my wisdom teeth removed. Still making a video though. We gotta get this quick picks and quick predictions out for you guys every single week. This card's pretty good, pretty solid card. We're gonna break down the entire card, starting with the early prelim opener of Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. Not a bad fight to start it off, honestly. It's not gonna be a super entertaining fight, but Jocelyn Edwards just proved that she is a solid bantamweight fighter. Just absolutely destroyed her last opponent. Chelsea Chandler, she basically just fights based on her size. The only reason she's in the UFC is because she's a big, big woman, and she just utilizes her size to win fights. So I don't think she's going to be able to outsize Jocelyn Edwards. Her striking's not better than Edwards. Her takedowns and her takedown defense is not as good as Edwards. All around MMA skills go to Jocelyn Edwards. I think she's going to win this fight by unanimous decision. I don't see her finishing Chelsea Chandler. She could maybe find a finish on the ground, but I don't really see it happening. I'm going to go Jocelyn Edwards, 29-28. A reasonably easy win for Jocelyn Edwards. We move on, though. Next fight, Jacqueline Amora versus Polyana Viana. Don't know how Polyana Viana is still in the UFC. I think it's just because of her Instagram account. I'm going to be completely honest. She has completely transferred from a UFC fighter to an Instagram model, an Instagram influencer, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't give a fuck about fighting. Jacqueline Amorim, on the other hand, on the other side, 9-1 in the UFC. Her only loss, I believe, was to Sam. I think it was Sam Hughes, honestly, where she kind of got taken down. It was a close fight, though. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Hughes. But otherwise, she's a finisher in strawweight. I mean, she's finished every single one of her fights in the UFC by submission. I think she has a KO as well, but she's got a few submissions. She's really good on the ground. Her ground game is amazing. The second she takes Polyana Viana to the ground, I think it's just going to be over from there, and I think she's going to get her to the ground relatively easily. It just doesn't seem like Polyana Viana even cares about MMA. All the skills, all the MMA skills, kind of just like the first fight that Jocelyn Edwards versus Chelsea Chandler. Same thing, all the skills, all the MMA skills are on Amorim's side. Polyana Viana is just a little bit bigger, but I don't see her utilizing that size to beat Jacqueline Amorim, who's really, really, really good, honestly. She's very technically sound. Her finishing ability at strawweight in WMMA is very good. So I'm going to go Jacqueline Amorim by submission, honestly. I think she could find a finish. Polyana Viana just hasn't showed a good amount of defense, especially on the ground. She's not defensively sound. We move on, though. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. This is a close fight. This is really close, and the odds speak it as well. This is almost a pick 'em. Really, really close fight. Tough to pick, honestly, because I do like Cameron Simon. He did get destroyed by Peyton Talbot in his last fight, got absolutely outclassed and got knocked out. But he is fighting a knockout artist in Malcolm Wellmaker, who has a lot of knockouts in the regional scene, came into the UFC, got a knockout round one, Dana White Contender Series. Nice. I believe it was a right hook. His straight rights and his straight lefts are really crisp. He's got power in his hands at bantamweight, which is a little worrisome for Cameron Simon. But in this matchup, I think Malcolm Wellmaker is just not experienced enough. He's also undefeated. You know how that's been aging. He's undefeated 8-0. I don't think he's experienced enough. He's saying that he wants to come out here, get a 50K bonus. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be too easy against Cameron Simon, who he's taken some time off. He's been training with DDP. His cardio is great. His jabs, his striking, and his offensive wrestling is really good. He just doesn't have a lot of power, right? We've seen he doesn't have a crazy amount of power. He just has a lot of volume. I think he's going to out-cardio Malcolm Wellmaker, drag it into round 2, round 3. I think round 3 he'll be able to take over, and I think he'll get a decision, honestly. So I'm going to go Cameron Simon by unanimous decision as my early pick for this fight. We move on, though. Damon Blackshear versus Alateng Lee. Not a bad fight. Damon Blackshear fought not too long ago. I believe it was on the Apex card with Vittori and Delize. Yeah, he fought on that card, got a nice submission. Almost got knocked out in round 1 by Cody, though. I think it was Cody. Yeah, he almost got knocked out by him. It was pretty close. He had to warm up, but he is great on the ground. His jiu-jitsu, his BJJ is so good. Damon Blackshear is really, really technical when it comes to the ground. Had a nice Kimura in his last one. And Alateng Lee hasn't fought in a minute. And he kind of doesn't have any finishing ability, which is the only thing that Damon Blackshear really needs to face to really have a struggle in a fight. Honestly, he got finished not that long ago by KO. He needs to either be KO'd or he can drag it to the ground. He gets a finish. That's how most of his fights go. He could get a decision as well, but I do see him getting a submission over Alateng Lee, who has showed that on the ground he's not very defensively sound. He's also a lot smaller than Damon Blackshear. He's going to have a big height advantage over Alateng Lee. Going to be able to take him to the ground, look for that neck, and find a submission. I'm going to go Damon Blackshear by rear naked choke. Look at the reach advantage as well. I mean, he can wrap up that choke. I see Damon Blackshear finding a finish round 1 or round 2. Alateng Lee is going to have to finish him if he wants to win this fight. So I'm going to go Damon Blackshear by submission. We move on. Evan Elder versus Ahmad Hassanzada. For some reason, I can't open that up. Honestly, I've tried to find a reason to like Ahmad Hassanzada, but this dude just keeps giving more and more and more reasons. He just got accused of abuse, I believe, and some sort of he just got accused of all sorts of things, man. I have no idea to the extent of how real it is, or if it's actually real, if it can be proved. But he's gonna be going to court. I don't even know if this fight is gonna be happening. I'm not 100% sure if he's being pulled out. I think he's getting unsigned from the UFC. So, not to mention as well, Ahmad Hassanzada, besides his BJJ, does not have anything on the feet against Evan Elder. If this fight does happen, I think Evan Elder will smoke him. The odds speak it. I mean, Evan Elder is very good. He's 9-2. Only lost to Nazim Sadikov in the UFC and lost on his Dana White Contender Series debut. But now he's friends with Nazim Sadikov, trains with him. Sadikov smoked Ahmad Hassanzada as well. I think Evan Elder is going to smoke him on the feet. If it comes to the ground game as well, he's going to be safe enough to not get wrapped up by a rear naked choke. Also, Hassanzada's cardio is just fucking ass. It's so bad. So I'm going to go Evan Elder by decision. I think he's going to just brutally beat down on Ahmad Hassanzada for 15 minutes. I think it's going to be a really brutal decision by Evan Elder. So we will move on to the what is this, man? The main prelim fight. Matt Schnell, Jimmy Flick, just an absolute joke, an absolute clown fest. I don't really know who to pick here. Like picking Matt Schnell, you can't feel confident in that. Picking Jimmy Flick, you can't feel confident in that. Jimmy Flick is a 3-1 underdog against Matt Schnell, who's been finished so many times in flyweight. He is so many flyweight prospects highlight. It is insane. He is Steve Urseg's only highlight. He is the reason that Steve Urseg got that short notice title shot. He's the reason that Steve Urseg just keeps fighting top competition. It's because of that highlight over Matt Schnell. It just doesn't make sense. Schnell's chin is not there. His ground game is questionable at most, and Jimmy Flick, the only thing he's going to have is that ground game, let's be honest. On the feet, Matt Schnell should be the better striker. He should be landing the more powerful shots. He should be outstriking Jimmy Flick everywhere, but at the same time, Matt Schnell's chin is just so questionable. He just got submitted by Cody Durden on short notice. Cody Durden stepped up short notice, submitted Matt Schnell. And Jimmy Flick's not a bad submission artist. So I could see Jimmy Flick pulling off a submission. I am going to go Matt Schnell, but it is like really, really tough. I'm just picking Matt Schnell because of the activity. Jimmy Flick hasn't fought in a while. He hasn't showed that he can strike with anybody. And Matt Schnell's striking is pretty good as long as he's not fighting somebody who can knock him out. The problem is you don't know who can knock him out because his chin is so fucking ass. But I'm going to go Matt Schnell by decision. I think he's going to get it done. I don't see him finding a finish over Jimmy Flick. Flick is decently durable, but he's just not going to be able to find anything. I don't think he's going to be able to get that submission over Matt Schnell, unless Schnell's IQ is just horrible. But he does have a decent IQ. His chin is just not there. His ground game is not amazing. But I think his striking will be better than Jimmy Flick. So I'm going to go Matt Schnell, decision. We move on to the main card. Ikram Aliskerov, Andre Muniz opens up this main card. I think this fight's been rebooked like 2 or 3 times. I think this is the 3rd time, man. I'm just going to go Ikram Aliskerov. Andre Muniz was a prospect at one point. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really high level, really, really high level, but he needs to get it there. I don't see him getting it there against Ikram. Ikram did get knocked out by Robert Whittaker in his last fight, but, he stepped up short notice against one of the best middleweights of all time, man. One of the best middleweights, former champ Robert Whittaker. I mean, there was really no chance for Ikram Aliskerov to win that fight, to be honest. And I think going in, he might have been the favorite. It was kind of crazy odds with that one. But Ikram Aliskerov is fighting Andre Muniz. This is a big step down in competition from Robert Whittaker. His only 2 losses in MMA are Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker. Okay, those are the 2 top dogs, man. And when they fought each other, those are the 2 top dogs, all right? So I think Ikram Aliskerov gets this one done. I think he's going to find a finish over Andre Muniz on the ground, TKO. Ground and pound. Andre Muniz is going to try to get some sort of BJJ move off on the ground. Ikram Aliskerov just hammer fist TKO. So I'm going to go TKO Ikram Aliskerov on the ground. Round 1, round 2. We move on. Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. Don't know how Nicholas Dalby is still in the UFC. He still shocks though in the UFC. I mean, dude's 40 years old, still does pretty good in the UFC from time to time. Arguably won his last fight against, I believe it was Rinat Fakhretdinov. I mean, I don't know. Did he beat? No, he almost beat Rinat Fakhretdinov. Rinat be getting blessed up, man. Rinat does not deserve those free wins. Sorry, boys. It's tough to speak with the jaw like this. I'm looking like a chipmunk out here. I'm looking like a squirrel or a chipmunk out here. Hopefully, I heal up fast. But Randy Brown, solid striker, really good at range. His reach is insane. His height is insane at welterweight. He's pretty much a bully when it comes to size. He's really tall, really lengthy. He's got a beautiful jab. Nice kicks as well. Nicholas Dalby needs to clash in, needs to land those big shots on Randy Brown, which I don't see him doing. 40-year-old Nicholas Dalby. He can shock. He does shock the world a lot, but Randy Brown, I think he's going to get it done by decision. I think it's a relatively easy decision for Randy Brown. I don't see Nicholas Dalby getting that knockout blow. I think that's what he needs is a knockout blow. His only knockout is against what's his name? One of the Bonfim brothers. Forget which Bonfim, but I don't see it happening, man. I don't see him knocking out Randy Brown. I'm gonna go Randy Brown by unanimous decision. Nicholas Dalby's very tough, but I think Randy Brown's gonna outstrike him every single round. We move on though to the next fight. I think this is the feature fight. No, this is not the feature fight. Michel Pereira versus Abu Magomedov. Why is the UFC site glitching, man? It always glitches on me. Michel Pereira versus Abu Magomedov. The fight of the cardio, man. Let's see whose cardio lasts longer, man. I'm really interested to see whose cardio lasts because as we know, Michel Pereira's cardio fucking ass. Abu Magomedov's cardio fucking ass, right? Michel Pereira's 31-12. He's got 12 losses, but in the UFC, he's done very well. Was on a huge win streak. Just lost to Anthony Hernandez, though. He gassed out after the first round. Then just got beat up on the ground. Was not able to do anything. The second he lost his cardio, it was over. It was over. And as we know, Abu Magomedov gasses out after round 1, round 2 as well. He did find a finish, I believe it was round 3, against a tough guy in Bruno Ferreira in his last fight. Got a nice arm triangle. He can finish on the ground. He can find a finish on the ground. These guys are both pretty good finishers. I don't see this one going the distance, but it does depend on who comes out fresher, who lasts longer. And I think it's going to be Abu Magomedov. Honestly, I know a lot of people are picking Michel Pereira, but I think Abu Magomedov has the ground game. I think he's going to be able to survive that early round 1. As long as he can survive round 1 and still have some gas in his tank, I think he finishes Michel Pereira in round 2. I'm going to go Abu Magomedov by submission in round 2 over Michel Pereira. Submission or ground and pound TKO. I think he's going to find that takedown in round 2 once Michel Pereira's tired himself out from all his crazy jumps and flips and all sorts of moves he's doing in round 1. So I think Abu Magomedov gets it done in round 2. We move on though. Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. Tough test for David Onama, honestly, because Giga Chikadze, he is aging. I believe he's 36 now, but this dude is still solid. He's still solid, being really overlooked in this one. I know David Onama's pretty good, but I don't see David Onama coming out here and destroying Giga Chikadze. I don't see it happening right now, at least. Giga has really great striking, really great karate kicks. Like, his striking is nice. It's clean. If he's able to get those clean striking exchanges off and not let David Onama close the distance, I think he wins this fight all day. David Onama is a nice boxer. He can get in close. He can land some really nice shots. His last fight against Roberto Romero was close, though. It was really sketchy, man. It was really close, and Roberto Romero came in short notice and dropped him in round 1. I could easily see Giga Chikadze landing a kick, landing a nice strike down the middle, dropping David Onama, and potentially finding a finish. Early pick, it's tough because I haven't done too much review on these guys. Early pick, I'm going Giga Chikadze by TKO, man. I think he's due for one of these finishes over a guy trying to get into the rankings as well, into the featherweight rankings. I think he's going to gatekeep this spot. Had a tough fight against Arnold Allen, but Arnold Allen is very good, man. And we forget, Giga was on a nice little streak before that. I know he lost to Calvin Kattar, but that was a close fight too. And he did kind of get dominated by Calvin, but I think David Onama's levels below Giga Chikadze. So I'm going to go Giga Chikadze by TKO round 2. I think he's going to find a nice finish over David Onama, who I don't think is ready for the rankings yet, but we will review that next week. We move on to the co-main event, Anthony Smith versus Zhang Mingyang, man. Don't understand why Anthony Smith is doing this to himself. I don't get it, man, because Zhang Mingyang is a 27-year-old knockout artist. I don't get it, Anthony. Why are you doing this to yourself? But this is a fight where I would not bet on this fight, man. This is a disgusting odds. Zhang Mingyang is like a minus 600, minus 700. disgusting, man. Anthony Smith, we saw he destroyed Vitor Petrino round 1, pulled off a nice guillotine. It's always live. It's always live for Anthony Smith to fraud check one of these guys in his retirement fight. This is most likely his retirement fight. Why does he want to retire against Zhang Mingyang? No idea. Maybe the UFC forced him to. No idea. But as he's doing his broadcasting, Zhang Mingyang been training, man. He's got really nice knockouts. His last fight against Ozzy Diaz knocked him out with a beautiful elbow, dropped him really bad, and then finished him on the ground. I think Zhang Mingyang has almost 90% of his finishes have been by ground and pound TKO. We just saw Anthony Smith gets finished by ground and pound TKO against Dominic Reyes. I think Zhang Mingyang will do the same thing. I'm going to go Zhang Mingyang round 1 TKO over Anthony Smith. Smith just, in his last fight, wanted to get beat up. After his coach passed away, it's just tough. He should have retired in his last one. I don't get why he's doing this to himself. But he's always live to find a finish. He could find some random choke. Don't bet on this fight. Do not. Please don't bet on this fight. Do not put any money on this fight. But Zhang Mingyang, I think, will get the finish in round 1 by TKO. We move on to the main event, the most anticipated fight of this night, man. Really tough prediction. Really, really tough to pick. Because, dude, like, Carlos Prates, the aura, I'm going to say it, the aura from the Fighting Nerds is out of this world. It is out of this world. They are 19-0 in the UFC. Rufy is about to get a shot at the rankings. Jean Silva just cracked the top 15. Carlos Prates is about to crack the top 10 if he wins this fight. And we know that we got the biggest guy, man, the middleweight, Kyle Baralho, is already basically in the top 5. He's about to get a shot at the top 5. Might be fighting Imavov soon. You know, like, these guys are rising to the occasion. They are, like, rising up the ranks so fast. And the aura, it's just the aura, man. The way they're doing it, they're knocking everybody out. They're flashy with their glasses, everything about it, man. It's just the aura that they carry. And it kind of intimidates. It intimidates the opponents. Ian Garry stepping up on short notice. Because, you know, he called this, he took this fight on like 3 or 4 week short notice. Carlos Prates was getting ready for Jeff Neal. Now had to get ready for Ian Machado Garry. Tough fight, man, because Ian Garry is solid everywhere. He is very solid everywhere. You know, had a really close fight against Shavkat. Obviously, Shavkat did outstrike him, but Garry didn't get wobbled at all by Shavkat. Didn't even have a close scenario of getting finished by Shavkat. Almost finished Shavkat with a rear naked choke. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Gary's got to work on his rear naked chokes. Wasn't able to choke out, what's his name? Oh my goodness. What's his name? Michael Venom Page. Wasn't able to choke out Page with the rear naked choke. Wasn't able to choke out Shavkat. But he is dangerous on the ground. And if he decides to grapple for 25 minutes, Carlos Prates is going to have a solid gas tank. He's going to have to be ready to get out of those positions and try to get into striking exchanges. Because I don't think Ian Garry's going to strike with him. I don't see it happening. I think he's going to strike for a little bit. You know, he's going to feel out the energy, and then he's going to shoot that takedown, clinch up against the fence. He's going to have to make it boring. Ian Garry needs to make this fight boring to win this fight. Carlos Prates, on the other hand, needs to walk him down. He needs to walk him down. He needs to impose his damage. He needs to impose his straight rights, his straight lefts down the pipe. You know, he's knocked out all of his opponents. All of his opponents in the UFC he's knocked out. But I don't know if he can knock out Ian Garry, man. It's really difficult. Early pick, I'm going with Carlos Prates. I think he will find a finish. It's difficult because Ian Garry, there's a lot of questions because Ian Garry is really solid everywhere. He is, and we haven't seen him be knocked out yet, right? We haven't even seen him been too close to getting knocked out. The closest situation of him getting knocked out was against Song Kanan. He has been hit with some shots. He has been rocked a couple times, but he's never been knocked out, right? Carlos Prates has crazy knockout power, but Ian Garry's bigger than him. You know, he's got the wrestling. If Carlos Prates has the defense, the wrestling defense, and the defense all against the cage, man, if he can defend those takedowns, I think he wins this fight for sure. I'm going to go Carlos Prates by TKO in round 2. I think it's going to be really close, though. I'm going to review the tape. We're going to see what happens. Early pick, though, Carlos Prates, round 2, TKO, boys. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below who you guys are picking in the main event, because it is a really tough pick, and I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.